bios of today's award recipients, and also a few tidbits about why each is more deserving of such recognition. After the presentation of the awards, we will turn our attention to Chancellor Ray Wallace as he delivers his first State of the Campus address. But first, we want to recognize our new faculty and staff. Each year, we excitedly welcome new members to the IU Southeast family. A full listing of the newest members can be found at the back of your program. In recognition of our newest additions, I'd like to ask all of our new faculty and staff, those of you who were not employed here last year at the same time, to please stand as a group and please remain standing. So welcome on behalf of us all to the IU Southeast community. Okay, well. Please remain standing. We are excited to have you on board and want to make your transition as smooth as possible. To that end, I challenge the senior faculty and staff to reach out to make our new folks feel welcome and valued. I thank you in advance for doing all that you can do to help settle into their new homes. Please join me in giving, again, our newest members a very warm welcome. So now it is my distinct pleasure to welcome you. Please be seated. Thank you. It's hard to see with these lights here. I'm not used to. Okay, I'll wear my sun visor next time. Now it's my distinct pleasure to welcome our Chancellor, who is also a new member of the IU Southeast family, to present the Chancellor's Diversity Award. Please join me in welcoming Chancellor Ray Wallace to the podium.
What an exciting day it's been, eh? Thank you, Uric. It is truly an honor to be here today, and I'm most excited to honor one of my colleagues. The Chancellor's Diversity Award honors one faculty or staff member who has made outstanding contributions to furthering diversity, inclusion, and excellence at IU Southeast. IU Southeast has many individuals in offices that contribute significantly to our diversity and inclusion efforts. Each year, the Advisory Council on Diversity takes on the difficult task of choosing one individual to receive this award. Selection of the award is based on several criteria, including working to support the IU Southeast Diversity Plan, demonstrating a firm commitment to the recruitment and retention of diverse populations, and working to foster a more inclusive and equitable learning and work environment. I've been told that today's honoree has done all of that and more. I'd like to invite Dr. Sarah Walsh to join me at the podium. Sarah? So now you've got to listen to all of this, okay? Dr. Walsh is an assistant professor of criminology and criminal justice in the School of Social Sciences. She embraces diversity in the classroom by encouraging discussion that allows diverse minority and unpopular viewpoints to be heard. One colleague has said, "I was very impressed with Professor Walsh's commitment to diversity learning, research, and service on the campus. She is a role model for teaching and mentoring to a diverse student body and is deeply engaged in understanding issues of diversity." Dr. Walsh's dedication to helping students goes beyond the classroom. She takes special interest in the mentoring, retention, and career development of diverse students, whom she helps navigate the career world. Another colleague recalls an instance when Dr. Walsh sat with a student, helping her look for job opportunities that would cater to her disability. Dr. Walsh served as a primary reference for the student, who recently graduated and accepted the position. That is a success story a student will share with others. It is my pleasure to present the Chancellor's Diversity Award in recognition of Dr. Walsh's commitment to diversity learning and student success. Please join me in congratulating Dr. Sarah Walsh, our winner of the Chancellor's Diversity Award. And where do we put it? Right here? Right there.
Thank you, Chancellor, and congratulations, Sarah. IU Southeast provides undergraduate students an opportunity to delve into research projects they are passionate about and to share their results with others. Some of our undergraduate students even are published before they graduate, gaining real-world valuable experience and impressive additions to their resumes. Research alongside talented faculty members allow students to develop important analytical skills and learn to be part of a team, abilities that will give them a competitive edge for jobs and graduate school admission. Our campus offers wonderful research opportunities and outstanding facilities for research on campus, in the local community, and also throughout the world. Many of our faculty members are engaged in active research. Today, it's my privilege to honor two very special faculty members for their contribution to research in their fields of study. At this time, I'd like to call or ask Dr. Victor Wingate to join me at the podium. Victor. Dr. Wingate is an associate professor of chemistry in the School of Natural Sciences and has been committed to undergraduate research since coming to IU Southeast 6 years ago. He has been awarded several grants for his research, which seeks to determine which drugs have the potential to control diseases like HIV and malaria. Dr. Wingate's student-centered approach means he often includes students in his research efforts. One colleague said, "Students are actively involved in every step of his research program, including publication in prestigious journals and presenting at national conferences." Please join me in congratulating Dr. Victor Wingate, our winner this year of the Junior Faculty Distinguished Research and Creativity Award. Our next award winner, Dr. Debbie Finkel. I don't think, is Debbie? Okay, she is teaching today, so she could not be with her today. Has, I think, an advanced research methods course in psychology. Nonetheless, her impressive achievements still deserve our recognition. Dr. Finkel is a professor of psychology in the School of Social Sciences and director of the Graduate Liberal Studies program. She has built an impressive list of publications, including publications with students, and has been involved in independent and multinational research in the field of psychology, causing one colleague to describe her as, quote, "on the short list of senior leaders in the field of behavioral genetics of lifespan cognitive development." That's, close quote. Dr. Finkel's research has been cited widely, generously funded, and closely followed by colleagues around the world, influencing many and producing methodological, statistical, and empirical advances. One colleague commented, "I have found Dr. Finkel to be a scientist of high creativity, authority, and productivity. She stands out for the excellence of her work, the warmth of her personality, and the strength of her reputation." Please join me, though she is not here to receive the award, in a round of applause for Dr. Finkel, the winner of our Senior Faculty Distinguished Research and Creativity Award. Thank you. To quote author, educator, and motivational speaker, Dr. William Arthur, "The good teacher explains, the superior teacher demonstrates, and the great teacher inspires." And today we are honoring two truly great teachers. Our first award winner, Professor Mary Ann Fitzharris, was unfortunately not able to attend today's event. However, the impact in the classroom has earned her this recognition. Professor Fitzharris is an adjunct faculty member in the School of Arts and Letters here in the English department and has been shaping students in the classroom since 1992. In her time at IU Southeast, Professor Fitzharris has had the opportunity to teach numerous courses, including more than 40 sections of W231, which is the course in professional writing. In the classroom, Professor Fitzharris dedicates herself to producing great writers who possess the skills necessary to succeed. But she doesn't just lecture to get her point across. She talks to students and inspires them to do their best. A former student said, "She has a manner of instruction that engages students and motivates you to absorb important concepts and skills, which are essential for success in the business world." After more than 20 years in the classroom, Professor Fitzharris's teaching is just as challenging and relevant. One colleague said, she remains as fresh with her perspective and offerings in 2014 as she was in 1992. Though she is unable to be here today, please join me in a round of applause for Professor Mary Ann Fitzharris, this year's winner of the Distinguished Teaching Award for Part-Time Faculty. And again, I'd like to ask Dr. Victor Wingate to please join me at the podium. Dr. Wingate joined the School of Natural Sciences faculty in 2008. He has taught more than 14 courses as a member of the chemistry department and was recently promoted to associate professor and received tenure. We've already discussed Dr. Wingate's impressive research efforts using computer-aided drug design to determine drugs with the potential to control diseases. But Dr. Wingate is also making an impact on students in more ways than research participation. He serves as a mentor whose approach to teaching creates a safe, comfortable environment where students feel free to ask questions and also work very hard. One colleague said, one of Victor's strengths is that he is always working to improve his class and that he genuinely cares for his students. And his students have taken note. They appreciate Dr. Wingate's determination to helping students succeed, his real-world applications of subject matter, and his emphasis on critical thinking. One student described Dr. Wingate as the best teacher I've ever had. And let me also say that Dr. Wingate also chairs our General Education Committee for the past 3 years and has done a great job of that, which is a service responsibility. So please join me in congratulating Dr. Victor Wingate, this year's winner of the Distinguished Teaching Award for Full-Time Faculty. And finally, I'd like to invite Ms. Bridget Adams to the stage. Bridget is an IU Southeast alum who joined the staff full-time in 1989. She currently pulls double duty between her long-term position as faculty secretary for the School of Social Sciences and as in her administrative role for the first-year seminar. Recently, Bridget also stepped up to take on many creative and administrative duties for the IU Southeast International programs. Her dedication and positive attitude has earned her much respect, from her willingness to pitch in when needed to her consistently pleasant and friendly demeanor. Bridget has a history of going beyond the call of duty. One colleague said, recognition for her quiet, dutiful service is long overdue. She provides exemplary staff support. Please join me in congratulating Bridget Adams, this year's winner of the Distinguished Service Award for Clerical Staff. Congratulations, Bridget. And now I would like to invite my colleague, Vice Chancellor for Administrative Affairs, Mr. Dana Wowell, to the podium. Thank you.
Thank you, Uric. This year's Distinguished Service Award for Service Maintenance Staff goes to Mark O'Connell. Mark, come on up. Congratulations.
Thank you.
The following comments were pulled directly from the nomination forms that were submitted on Mark's behalf. Mark is the custodian on the 3rd floor of the Life Sciences building. Many days his smile is the first thing we see when we arrive, as he always greets faculty, staff, and students. Everyone on the floor knows Mark. He is aware of the classroom schedules and plans his cleaning regime based on our schedules and our needs, so every classroom and lab is impeccable when we arrive for that first class. Mark always goes above and beyond for our department. There is absolutely nothing he will not help with if assistance is needed. Even when we do not request help, if Mark sees something that needs to be fixed or is out of place, he's on the job. Everything in our department is spotless, including our floors, our restrooms, our whiteboards, hallways, and even our very cluttered offices. No, that's not true, is it?
I tried.
Cluttered offices? We don't have those around here. Mark is always upbeat and friendly while getting his job done to his best. He always is willing to share ideas and knowledge that could improve the function on the floor. He has a can-do attitude. Mark is always kind and generous and helpful. I cannot count the number of times I've had my hands full and he opened the door for me so I didn't have to struggle with my keys. He's always friendly and pleasant. I enjoy seeing him every day as he brightens my spirit. When he is not here, I notice his absence, and my day is never quite as bright. Mark is considerate and gracious and a well-loved member of our floor. And again, these are comments that came directly from the nomination forms. Mark is a great communicator, always upbeat and friendly. I feel he's really part of the department, and he's known by faculty, staff, and students alike. Mark is always pleasant, respectful, and very much aware of what needs to be done and when it needs to be done. He's always working. His attitude and work ethic is such that any absence is noted immediately. Mark is an exceptional example of someone who takes pride in IU Southeast. His work is excellent. He is dependable, always upbeat, and willing to be flexible to accommodate faculty requests. Through his consistency, hard work, and attitude, he's an excellent example for our students. Let's congratulate Mark. Again, congratulations. Very well.
Mark, would you just look right there and get him? Congratulations. Good job. Good job.
This year's Distinguished Service Award for Professional Technical Staff goes to Earl Tepford. Earl, come on up. You have a fan club out there. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Again, the following comments were pulled directly from the nomination forms that were submitted on Earl's behalf. Earl is very knowledgeable about every aspect of his position. In his role supervising the maintenance staff, he remains informed and involved in each and every project. Several of the maintenance team members have commented that they value and appreciate Earl because he's in the trenches with them and not just sitting in an office directing work. Earl is our go-to person when we have a facility question or need advice. Earl has a positive and can-do attitude. He's always willing to meet, to talk through an issue, and always provide solutions that will be the best for our department. Earl is a joy to work with, and because of his positive attitude, he makes talking about facility issues fun and enjoyable. We like to hear that. Earl consistently delivers prompt and thorough service to our residents. Earl is, and this is from a housing nomination, Earl is a professional with a high level of integrity. This is displayed through his stewardship of resources and always making a decision that is best for everyone involved. Since his arrival, Earl has implemented a preventative maintenance program, decreased the backlog of work requests and response times, and solved many long-standing building issues and problems. He has worked with an energy consultant and the physical plant team to address heating, cooling, and ventilation issues in most of our buildings. These improvements, and others not mentioned, have improved building comfort, made building occupants happier, and improved morale with the physical plant. Earl always has a get-it-done-right attitude. He arrives early, works long days, and keeps going and going. In June of 2013, we found out that Duke Energy was offering double rebates on replacing 32-watt fluorescent bulbs with 25-watt fluorescent bulbs. Earl managed the purchase and replacement of over 7,000 bulbs, earning the campus a $56,000 rebate and reducing our energy costs by over $15,000 a year. This change encompassed all the campus hallways and public spaces. Earl enables his team to be successful with proper training, the right tools, and excellent leadership. His customer service is exceptional. Whenever he's assigned a task, it is completed quickly and correctly. Earl talks with customers personally when resolving building issues and problems. His maintenance practices and repairs have saved the campus thousands in operational and utility costs. Please join me in congratulating Earl. Congratulations. Job well done.
Thank you. Hold that right there. See the camera right here?
This marks the conclusion of the presentation of awards. Let's give all of the award recipients one more round of applause. At this point in time, I'd like to welcome our Chancellor, Dr. Ray Wallace, to the podium for the State of the Campus Address.
Before I start the State of the Campus Address, I want to just bring a little bit more transparency to something that happened today. As you know, we had a lockdown situation. Our procedures were followed very, very well. We had a student who thought he saw another student carrying a weapon in a rucksack. And he was right to come and let us know that there was a problem, and we did lock the campus down rather rapidly. The response from our own campus police officers and from officers in other jurisdictions was immediate. And as we went through, or as they went through, and cleared each building, things became more and more apparent that everything was going to be fine. At the same time, officers inside the command center, the university police, were looking at video and did find the person that they were looking for. And at one point, I have to tell you, it did look like he was carrying a weapon in a backpack. But the police found him, and it was an all clear. It was, in fact, a golf umbrella of some sort, an umbrella that was sticking out of the pack. But at first glance, even when the police officer was bringing this back into our area, I looked at it and thought, oh, well, that does look like a rifle barrel. So it worked well. I appreciate your patience. I appreciate what you did to help that move smoothly. We will be reviewing everything to see if there's anything else we could do, and we will be contacting you. But I just wanted you to know that, so I appreciate what you did, and our police force did a very fine job. Thank you on that. Yeah. So the State of the Campus Address. I want to start by saying good afternoon, everyone, and please let me begin by thanking you all for coming out to hear my first State of the Campus Address. I am extremely honored to be giving this address, my first as your new Chancellor, and I feel very gratified indeed, to have been chosen to serve in this position. While my actual start date was officially July 1, 2014, as many of you know, I physically visited campus twice after signing my contract in March, did several video conference sessions, was involved in several search discussions via teleconferences, and also met with the State Budget Committee here in this building and in other offices on campus in June. From July until the end of August, Barb Bickelmeyer and I were involved in on-the-ground transition meetings with key local elected officials, key donors, community leaders, and various IU regional campus administrators. In addition, I have visited several important employers in the region, notably UPS, Ford, and River Ridge, the complex at River Ridge, to name but a few, to both introduce myself and to discuss how IU Southeast might help provide their employers ongoing access to higher education. I have also met with representatives from Ivy Tech and Purdue. All these discussions are, as you might imagine, ongoing. It has been a hectic first 10 weeks here, but I genuinely feel that IU Southeast is poised to be an even bigger presence in our area, and I can already see many ways in which we can grow and prosper. As time is limited today, however, let me talk about our state of the campus and perhaps a little bit more about my vision for our campus. I deliberately did not give a State of the Campus address a few weeks ago. I was uncertain of the direction I wanted to go with such a speech, still felt a little too new, but also wanted to ensure that all of you had the opportunity to hear what I heard about the campus from its leadership before I waxed poetic up here. Instead, I invited the internal campus community, faculty and staff, to view a series of PowerPoint presentations. Those of you who are here, I think you'll recall that I said this was death by PowerPoint, which demonstrated where we were as a campus. I asked these presenters, leaders of various campus entities, simply to discuss in mostly graphical form the current status of their respective units. It was an important day for us. We got to preview our condition, and after listening to the presentations, and frankly listening to Kirk Randolph's singing. Where is he? Is he in here? Oh, yeah. I was frankly reminded, well, I'll read that again. And after listening to the presentations and to Kirk Randall's singing, I was frankly reminded of Charles Dickens' quote in A Tale of Two Cities. It was the best of times, and it was the worst of times. Together, though, I think we learned a great deal about our campus. And from the outset, it is important to remember that the positives vastly outweigh the negatives at IU Southeast. We are a very stable campus. Our professoriate is strong. We are known regionally, and not just in the IU family, for our teaching excellence, our commitment to serving students, and our ability to achieve great pedagogical results based on sound, research-driven underpinnings. The new faculty we have hired this year are a further indication of our campus's ability to attract the caliber we need. Faculty Senate and administration interactions have been helpful, frank, and fruitful, and I look forward to more of the same. We all understand the tenets of shared governance, and I am impressed by the openness of the faculty and staff leadership to work together to make an even stronger IU Southeast campus. Our staff are impressive, helpful, well-organized, and student-friendly. Our staff receives high marks from our students and alumni alike. We have facilities here that many institutions would give their eye teeth for. We have an absolutely beautiful campus, safe and modern. Two things prospective students want. We are located in a part of the state which is growing, where people want to move or to be near. We are part of the IU family. This bond is vitally important, since this is why many or most of our students select us. They want an IU degree. I want them to attain this degree at IU Southeast, one of the strongest regional campuses in the IU family. Indeed, the degrees we offer here at IU Southeast are well received, and many faculty members have done a fine job to date in adding online and hybrid components to these already robust programs when appropriate. Advising is thoughtful and helpful. An academic alert system is beginning to take shape, and both internship opportunities and career services activities are more than sufficient for current demand, but they will grow. Our residence halls or lodges are, while small in number, impressive and luxurious. If any of you have not been in one of these lodges, I ask you to go look at them and then remember what you all went through in Stalag, whatever, at your campus. Our classrooms are well equipped. Our labs are quite current, and our meeting spaces are more than adequate. Our technological infrastructure is very, very impressive, and frankly is among the best of the regional campuses. And truth be told, it's better than some of the bigger campuses that we won't name. Our athletic teams play well, they win cleanly and fairly, and we retain our athletes at higher rates than our non-athletes. Finally, my administrative team, from coordinators to directors to deans and to vice chancellors, are smart, swift, and successful. We are indeed solid. The foundational work has been done. We have achieved quite a lot in terms of placing graduates in the workforce or onto professional schools. We have awarded more than 28,000 degrees since 1971, and we continue to serve students from 11 Indiana counties and 6 Kentucky counties. We are thought of well in our surrounding community, and the word of mouth, talk on the street, is very positive. To repeat, IU Southeast is very solid. Solid, yes, but we have work to do. You didn't think it was all going to be kudos, did you? Our retention rates and our six-year graduation rates could and should be better, and it will be all our jobs to make them better. We have inched up to a 32% six-year graduation yield. On the one hand, our increase in this metric is good. It's good news. We are trending in the right direction. And given that we are a largely commuter institution and that our wide-ranging student body is quite a bit different from, say, an institution which recruits only traditional first-time, full-time college students, houses most, if not all of them, in on-campus dormitories, we actually should be cautiously optimistic about the measure. However, alas, 32% graduation rate is also what is reported on the FAFSA forms that prospective students and their parents see when they select us as a possible school of choice. Frankly, at present, we do not compare favorably to some of the schools we aspire to compete with. Add to this metric the fact that our four-year graduation rate has never climbed above 9% in the institution's history. I repeat, our four-year graduation rate has never climbed above 9%. This is simply not good enough. Now, I understand we're not attracting students, the type of students who would necessarily get everything completed in 4 years, but we've got to increase that number. The six-year graduation for regional campuses is a more accurate number, and I have been talking about the metrics for success and how we are going to stress the metrics that make more sense for a regional campus. However, every year, every newspaper will cite the statistic of what our four-year graduation is, and we've got to increase it. I think it's more important that we increase our six-year graduation rate, to be quite honest with you. And I think it's also vitally important that we continue to get our students walking across the stage, whether it takes 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, 8 years, 9 years, 10 years. Walking across the stage is important. That is our bread and butter. Doesn't count in some sort of federal database, but you and I know that if we continue to graduate students from this area will become even stronger. Enrollment metrics are also trending in the wrong direction. Undergraduate headcount has decreased 6.8%, and credit hour enrollment has decreased 8.1% over the last 3 years. Since 2010, graduate program enrollment has decreased 43%, with education experiencing the largest decrease at 49%, but with business graduate enrollment also decreasing 29%. According to the fall 2014 census, undergraduate headcount is down 2.6% from 2013, and graduate headcount is down 22.6% compared to the census last year. Combined, we have seen an 11.2% decrease in headcount and a 10% decrease in credit hours since our peak in 2011. We're not alone in this. Lots of regional schools across the country are seeing those declines. And to quote someone else, it is largely the economy. However, we have to reverse these enrollment declines. Several consecutive annual enrollment declines have had negative impacts upon our operating budgets, and the knock-on effect is such that effective strategic planning is hampered by this lack of fiscal balance. Please remember that for every 1% decline in overall student credit hours, we drop more than $300,000 in operating funds. We are down 2.8% this year, and you will be receiving a memo from my Chief Financial Officer about that. But let's not dwell on the current state, since we have sufficient time and a sufficiently smart workforce to turn this all around. Let's talk instead a little about my vision for this institution, which I hope will eventually translate into our vision. Probably something revised from my initial vision and effort, but it's a vision that I think we can work together for the future of IU Southeast. First, it's important that I describe a few things about vision and the subsequent dreams for our future, since envisioning is really dreaming about a better future. Others have written more eloquently about vision than I, so allow me to rely on three such writers to set the scene for us. What we will do together here over the next years will be to dream about how we can attain a new level of excellence at IU Southeast. Remember, it's solid. I want us to dream bigger. None of us should, however, be content with our current status. We should be excited to strive collectively for something grander. Helen Keller eloquently described the need to look toward the future when she said, "The most pathetic person in the world is someone who has sight but no vision." Additionally, Tony Dungy, I believe he coached a bad football team near here. Tony Dungy has noted that the first step toward creating an improved future is developing an ability to envision it. Vision will ignite the fire of passion that fuels our commitment to do whatever it takes to achieve excellence. Vision has no boundaries and knows no limits. It would finally be remiss of me, however, not to quote an Irishman after these others. As we know, actualizing a vision leads to a transformation or progress. George Bernard Shaw has noted that progress is impossible without change, and those who cannot change their minds cannot change anything. So you will now hear a little about my vision for IU Southeast. Please remember that it's a single person's vision, or that a single person's vision, including the Chancellor's, only works when we as a team, the community, our family, comes together to make the vision a concrete reality. To that end, over the next few months and years, we, all of us, will be working together in forming the next vision for IU Southeast through an initial strategic plan and then other strategic plans. What I offer here today as Chancellor is, if you'll forgive me for saying it this way, the visionary fuel to get our conversation started. And as such, here's a broad brush vision for IU, my broad brush vision for IU Southeast over the next 10 years, 2024, which seems a long way away, but it's not. However, remember, as I say, we are basically stable and strong. We have work to do. We will work together on a collective vision for the next phase of our evolution. Enrollment. We're currently about 6,400 students. When I look at it, I think we have the potential to grow to about 10,000 students, a mixture of undergrad, mostly undergrad, and more graduate students in the next 10 to 15 years. If all the planets align, that's what we can grow to. We have an impressive array of curricular programs on the books, and we know that we need to modernize, but we have some key demographics that we need to do a better job in capturing. We need to capture a larger share of currently enrolled high school students so that they take more college courses whilst they're still in high school. We'll either teach these courses on their campus or bus them here. We need to offer these courses in a variety of formats and throughout the calendar year. We need to capture a larger percentage of Kentucky students who will not gain admission into the University of Louisville as their admission standards begin or are beginning to increase rather rapidly. More students will come to us as more bridges open. But again, we must be an attractive commodity to these students. We need to attract a larger percentage of working adults to degree completion programs and to graduate programs. We must stop thinking about this population as a population that will simply drop everything to come take classes on our campus at 10 o'clock in the morning for 15 weeks. Currently, on the campus itself, currently we have about 180 acres, and that is fine for growth, for footprint. And the projections are that we've got plenty of space. Again, over a 10 to 15 year period, we need to increase our on-campus housing. This will obviously mean adding additional lodges and other types of accommodations. It might mean talking to property developers nearby to look at them in terms of their building apartments. Can we get into a contract situation with them so that we can have X number of their units for our students? This will always be a commuter school, but we need to increase the percentage of students who live on campus. We will need at least 2 more major academic buildings. We need additional lab space, we'll need additional creative space, we'll need offices, we'll need classrooms as we grow. We need to look at a major art facility, a museum, a gallery. We really need to look at a large, and I mean large, student recreation, student development center. Our gym is very nice, and I'm sure it was a lovely gym in the 1960s, but it's not what our students are looking for. Think the why. If it doesn't have a climbing wall in it, people will walk away. It's part of the entertainment part of attracting students and retaining them. We will need more parking. We'll possibly need a parking garage. We will need a fitness trail, and we will need a larger dining facility and much more in the way of food service options. We frankly need that now. Off campus, we will need to have consolidated learning centers in all the Indiana counties we currently serve. That in some cases will mean physical space in each of our service counties to offer undergraduate and graduate programs. And sometimes it will mean digital space where students can come and take these courses, never having to leave Switzerland County. I told my wife last week that I was taking her to Switzerland this year. I haven't told her it's Switzerland County. We will need to increase the size of our campus in downtown Jeffersonville to take advantage of more working adults working downtown, down there and in Louisville. Educational philosophy, we will have to become more customer savvy. And I know lots of you in there go, oh, I don't want to hear customer savvy, and this is like a business. It's not, but we've got to become customer savvy because our competitors are. We'll have to look about how and when we educate. We're going to have to look at different schedules. Everything does not have to operate on a 15-week schedule. Different schedules are needed for different populations. We will have to look at faster undergraduate and graduate degrees, and that means using summer school as a traditional semester, more of a traditional semester. Using winter break and summer breaks as times when we can also offer a class or two. We will need to understand that more and more of our students do not want, nor will sit still long enough to come to class to view the sage on the stage. We will, however, have many, many students who will want that approach. But for many of our millennials, and whatever comes after millennials, they don't want to learn like that. Simply stated, technology, social media outlets have changed higher education for good, and we had better move in that direction. Hybrid classes, totally online classes, will be important additional ways of getting education out there. Not everything, and hear me well on this, not every course we offer, not every program we offer has to be online. But there are many of them that do need to be, if that's partially online, and then as we fight the battles, completely online. We have a population that we need to attract, and we're not attracting. We will need to bring our programs to students who want them, whether that's online, or face-to-face, or compressed video, or, God forbid, YouTube. We will need to be out there. UPS and Ford and River Ridge, they're already talking to us about those possibilities of going out there and offering courses. Here's the key for all of us. This is a beautiful place, gorgeous. But we will have to stop liking being known as the best kept secret and the hidden gem of southern Indiana. Both accept the status quo, and what we need to do is to look to the future. Community involvement. We will need to be more connected to our service communities. We must be seen as the economic development engine in the area. In other words, we must be considered the go-to leader when southern Indiana is trying to attract new white-collar industries and companies here. We must be seen as the institution to provide and train the next generation of mid-level and higher employers. We must be able to articulate why a 4-year college degree will be so vitally more important than a 2-year degree. We have to outmarket Ivy Tech. And they've been pretty good at marketing their advantage. But their advantage isn't real. We're the real advantage. A 4-year degree, a graduate degree in this community, that's the real advantage to this community. And we have to stop being so shy about it. And that will mean a media blitz. It will mean more than that. At the same time, however, we will need to form partnerships with these local 2-year schools, Ivy Tech, JCTC, and we're beginning to do that. Every undergraduate degree program we offer, we'll need to have signed some type of MOU with these 2-year feeder schools, and that's what they are, feeder schools, which explains how a student can move seamlessly from JCTC or Ivy Tech or other community colleges to complete a degree in whatever we offer at IU Southeast. If some of us think we are too good for this, frankly, we're just kidding ourselves, and we will pay the consequences down the road. We have to be good neighbors. We will be involved in fairs and parades and clubs and organizations and more social organizations. We are doing more and more of this already, and we're beginning to see more community buy-in. And I salute you all for beginning to reach out even more. We must become even more regionally known as the place where we graduate good citizens who stay to make our communities even stronger. We need to have a stronger, more involved Southeast alumni base. We also need to be known as the institution which improves greatly the quality of life factor here in southern Indiana. More art, more plays, more music, more keynote speakers, more debates, more movies, much more outreach to show our surrounding communities that IU Southeast is the place to come for quality info entertainment, what I call the mind over chatter approach to quality of life issues. Athletics. As I say, we need to increase our recreational facilities, not just for our athletes, but for our students too. Student development centers, student recreation centers, That is the wave of the future. We're slow on that. It's not really the wave. We're not even cutting edge or bleeding edge. We're late to this. And we need, and I'm going to be working with Rob and prospective donors down the road to start looking at how we can fund a major recreation center that can also be used for athletics. We need more sports. You've heard me joke, we need soccer. The way God intended football to be played. We need golf. We got Fuzzy Zeller in our backyard. We need to get to him. We need to say, help sponsor our golf team. Frankly, to begin with, we need women's soccer, we need women's golf. We need more women's sports. We need cross country. And we need, frankly, more students from our community supporting our student athletes. We need more bums in seats. Simple as that. We need to sell our athletic program. We must not rest on our laurels. This is a great school, and it's going to be an even better school. It's a fine regional campus. We graduate great students, and we will continue to do so. But we need to dream bigger, to attract more students, and to accept the mantle of the best public, comprehensive regional campus in the state and beyond. We need to dream bigger. As we work on a new vision for IU Southeast, I know we will come together to develop a proactive strategic plan, a roadmap to lead us to an even better IU Southeast. I look forward to taking that journey with you all. Thank you. Thank you. Before we bring up Uric to do the closing announcements and all of that, there are two things that I need to do, and it's my fault. Whoever put the program together, someone did, and I forgot to do this. The first thing I want to do is I want us all, if you would, to join me in thanking someone who is leaving us tomorrow. And she's going up to Bloomington to work up there. And I tried to bribe her. I brought her flowers, chocolates, God, anything I could do. But she has decided to go on to Bloomington. When I came here to interview, and when I was doing the transition, and then when I worked here, when I started to work here 10 or 11 weeks, Charlotte Stonecipher has been huge support for me, and Charlotte is going on. Would you all join me in giving her a round of applause? One last thing, I asked the chair of the alumni board, IU Southeast Alumni Board, to say a few words too, and so please, let's welcome him to the stage.
Thank you, Chancellor. Quick note to myself, never follow children, animal acts, or waxers of poetry. The Alumni Association, like most organizations, has its vision, its mission, and its pillars that those are built on. But we're built on a foundation that's a lot more important than that, and that's you. That's Indiana University Southeast. There's a lot of pride in the board. I want you to know the board represents each school here at IU Southeast. And just last month, we were very pleased to award 25 scholarships to current students. And I would like for each of you to go ask Lynn Prinz about your particular school, who received that. And if you see those students, congratulate them. And specifically say, hey, congratulations on getting the IUS Alumni Association Scholarship. We're working every time we meet to come up with ideas to grow IUS's name in the community, but also to provide something to the alumni to bring them back here and to interest their children and their friends and their children to continue their education. We're very excited to have Chancellor Wallace on board. I will tell you this, he throws a mean curveball. Not.
Thank you. Get off the stage.
And he gave me 90 seconds. Okay.
Your time is almost up.
I think it was up on the curveball. No, thank you very much. We're very proud to represent IUS. And we come out and we say, hey, folks, come out and do things. If you can support the students to support the IU Southeast Student Alumni Association, that'll help us build the Alumni Association so that we can fulfill the dreams and visions of the Chancellor and everybody in this room. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And let me once again thank all of you for the time that you took to attend this afternoon. Before we wrap up, we'd like to have just a few campus announcements we want to share with you. First, we would like you to please save the date for December the 5th. That's a Friday, December 5th. Chancellor Wallace's official installation ceremony will be held that day at 2 o'clock p.m. Right here in the Ogle Center. And it's also important to note that the Board of Trustees will be here meeting on our campus the day before on December 4th, and also we carry on to December 5th. So we're certainly very excited to host them here on campus. And also, as many of you are aware perhaps by now, that the Chancellor's Medallion Dinner, the usually very successful event every year, has been moved from its traditional occurrence in the fall to take place next spring. So the dinner will be held Saturday, March 28th at Horseshoe, Southern Indiana, and we hope to see all of you there. Again, we want to thank all of you for coming this afternoon. We want to thank Chancellor Wallace for his address and his vision for the campus, and also certainly congratulate all of our award recipients today, and thank you all for coming. At this time, we would like to invite all of you to some refreshments, which will be located outside in the lobby, and we'll see you all again next year. So thank you very much.